All right, guys, I'm back. I've got a sinus infection, pneumonia. I can't hear out of my left ear at all, so I'm just going to go one-eared. We've got a verdict. Got a daggum verdict. I didn't think it would be this quick, but they got one, and I think I was right. I've seen some pieces of it. I think I'm right. We'll try to stream it real quick. Cut out all the other BS, and we'll just go straight to it. There we go. There we go. Boom. All right. I said that they were not going to either be found guilty or they were going to have a hung jury because of how long it was taking. It was either going to be one of the two. I wasn't sure which. I leaned towards, at this point, I was leaning towards just, it could be either one. It's a 50-50 flip. But I didn't think they were getting 200-something years and life in prison. No, the case was horrible. So let's see if we can't get it. Go forward. There we go.
What this verdict is.
Man, I hate having my ears way like this. I can't hear nothing, y'all. I got to turn my mics all the way up. Let's see what he says. Come on. Now let's go to rabbit speed. Come on. Yeah, if the jury had come back on the same day, then it would have been a guilty verdict. It's just juries are fickle. Shorter. Here we go.
All right, good morning. Sure.
What's that?
That's the clerk, I guess, talking.
All right, good morning, everybody. We have a verdict. We have two verdicts.
She's like, yeah.
And I do not want there to be any kind of disruption or disturbance in court, regardless of what this verdict is. So can we get the jury out, please?
Judge is sitting here just happy clap in her head. Oh, we're done. I'm going home. Doug already has to know. He's got to have some idea. He wouldn't, but he's got enough. No, he's still worried. He does what I do. Exactly what I do. I always put my hand on them, on their back. Because you never know if they're going to flip out. You just don't. And the last thing you want is a damn sheriff's deputy getting on you. That's the last thing.
All right, thank you very much.
Sounds
All right,
like a bailiff.
Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that you have reached a verdict, Mr. Foreperson, is that correct? All right, and was it unanimous? Yes. All right.
Unanimous.
And this verdict has been filled in and signed and dated by you, correct? Or for each defendant? Yeah. All right, I noticed that Mr. Kendrick's verdict form is dated December 2nd. Is that because that's when you all reached
Oh, wow.
Okay, and then Mr. Stillwell's is dated today. Okay.
So Kendrick, they were
all
done
right,
with.
Mr. Kendrick.
It's going to be not guilty.
You have been found not guilty on all charges.
Told you.
Mr. Stillwell. Please stand. You have been found guilty on count 64, possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, and not guilty on every other charge.
Way to go, Fat Fanny Patterson.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are officially released from further service, and I cannot express the degree of thanks that Fulton County owes you for your service, given the length of this trial. You have paid close attention this entire time, and I appreciate your devotion.
They are emotionally shot and spent.
The parties in this case. You are welcome to stay for the sentencing, or you can return to the jury room.
I would like
to speak with you in just a moment in the jury room if you
not back to Rice Street.
Stay. You're welcome to stay. Is there any objection to the form or the legality?
I think it's hilarious. They freaking took please and shouldn't have. I knew it.
Right.
Man, when they did
is there any reason?
What was it? I don't know, 10, 14 days ago. I knew when they took pleas. I knew when they took them they were making a mistake. They had not proven their case. I know they wanted to go home, and it's a very tempting offer. Oh, my God, did these guys. If I was in jail, I'd probably do the same thing. Nobody wants to sit. These jails are horrible. None of them are the Ritz-Carlton. And the one that they're in is it should have been shut down. It is pathetic. You know, if we want to cram all that, look, I'm not one of these people that thinks we shouldn't have bond or that we should have a bond for everything. Some people you need to keep. But if you're going to keep people incarcerated and make them a ward of the state, you got to take care of them. Just like if they were in a mental health hospital, you can't let it go to squalor. We just don't do that. And that hospital is bad. Our hospital, this is amazing. That jail is horrible. It's worse than the closed Georgia State Prison mental hospital that was the largest east of the Mississippi with several thousand beds in it. And it's closed, been closed, and it's nicer than Ross Street. It's cleaner with the birds inside of it and all the cobwebs and all the broken windows. It's still nicer. So these two guys are going to be ecstatic. Next should be sentencing. Mr. Kendrick's done. He's going home. But Mr. Stillwell, he got to get a probation sentence because he's not going to prison for that. He's just not. He's done. But these guys spent 2.5 years in jail, man. This is what you have to go through. Man, people don't realize it. They took a gamble, and it won. You know, I thought no one should have took pleas, but it's impossible when a judge is offering you, a directed verdict or ordering a mistrial. Or even a directed verdict is fine because that's finality. They can't come back on you. But when when the state's offering, or the judge is offering a mistrial, but without prejudice, it kind of sort of gets them to go home, but you're just going to get reindicted and start all over again because that witch, Fanny Fannerson, is never going to stop. She's never going to stop. Now she has to. She ain't got no case. She done. But I get why they took it, because what are you going to do? Do you want to go home, or do you want to potentially continue this crazy shit show dumpster fire that they've done for 2 years? I mean, remind you, the defense didn't put a case in chief on. They rested. They're not required to. So when their turn came, they said, we rest. That's the only reason they're getting a verdict. That's it. Otherwise, they'd still be putting on a case. They didn't need to put one on. You're not required to. I think if the rest had been involved, they probably would have had to. It would have gotten too complicated. But this is it. This is how it works. This is the hard part about being a criminal defense lawyer, is to tell whether to tell your client to take the offer, or tell them to go kick rocks. And the kick rocks offer was the best one. So, or the kick rocks statement by the defense was probably the best one they could have come up with, because they're going home, and one of them's going home a free man, no charges. You'll have an arrest record, but he can expunge it. This is awesome. God, this is great.
That we can't go ahead and sentence.
Yeah.
You may.
Of course he wants to do something. I hate these sidebars not being televised. Can't, man. You're not supposed to be able to hear it, but come on.
That count. And do y'all intend to stand on that? All right. So the recidivist is A and C recidivist.
They're
that
doing
means
a
that I
sentencing
have no
schedule.
discretion but to sentence to the maximum on that count. And the sentence possibility is 5 to 10. I must sentence to 10 years. However, I can probate any part of that sentence at my discretion.
And she's gonna.
And so the court sentence on count 64 for Mr. Stillwell is going to be 10 years to serve 2, with credit for time served, the balance served on probation.
He's going home. He's going home too.
All right, I am going to recess.
I love it. Oh, man.
Recess for a moment. We will reconvene on the status conference in a few minutes.
Man, that is awesome. Oh my God, the judge smoked him. Oh my God, that is hilarious. The max. I was looking at I was thinking probably on a felon.
You have 30 days to file a motion for new trial.
Felon in possession of a handgun. As much as a year and a day to 10. I was figuring he would get probably 5 on that. But she just gave him 10 and probated it after the 2 years served. I mean, he's done. This guy's going home too. I mean, they're both going home. Holy shit. And all them other guys took pleas. Oh, God, I mean, damn, Jeffrey Williams is on freaking probation for what is it? Like next 20 something years. And then it'll cut off after I forgot what his term was, but it's like he'll be on probation for at least a decade. And then finally it terminates early if he gets through it. I think it's 10 years. He got all that bullshit he's got to do, the stupid community service, like 1 million hours. I mean, this is crazy. But again, it's up. The client dictates. I mean, that's just how it works. The client dictates what happens. They are the captain of their own ship. You can't make them do something that they don't want to do. And those guys didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. They wanted to go home, and now they are. It's just unfortunate that they're not going to have, that the other guys did not get the same result. But they made that choice. They didn't want to gamble. These two gambled. They really didn't have a choice. I mean, each one was looking at life. One was life plus 270. So, I mean, there's no gambling there. It's just you don't have a choice. It's roll the dice. And their case had been so bad. God, it was so bad. They felt like they were going to win, and they were right. I'm always a little bit. I'm not as positive with juries and judges. Anybody. I always, plan for the worst and hope for the best. I was expecting at least a charge or two to get stuck on somewhere, maybe get a 10-year sentence out of it. But like judges did, she could have probated it, been done, because they've served 2. So she sentenced him to 10, served 2. He served 2. Bye, gone. This is over. So, I mean, in retrospect, that's probably about the most they were going to get on anyone. Because they still they were still allowed to bring up the connections of Williams and all that, just not the punishment and what he had pled to. The jury still doesn't. They probably know. That's the bad part about this. They probably know. They're freaking human beings, man. Come on. They've walked by a TV. They know. They probably knew. But, they're not supposed to. All right, let's see about what they've got on here for status hearing.
If you choose to do that, your attorneys will represent you on that unless they are excused from that representation by me. You also have 30 days from either this date or the date the motion.
They're talking about an appeal on the judge's decision and the actual the case. They can still appeal it as a matter of law. They're not going to do that. No, the state might. But they can't really do it either. So, you don't get I get to go to court again because I'm going to take it to a new court because I didn't get what I wanted. That's not how it works. You don't get to redo because you didn't get what you wanted. So, that's it. In 30 days, this will be final. Done. No messing around. It's over.
For new trial is ruled upon to file a direct appeal if that's something you would like to do. And given that this is a felony conviction, you would have 4 years from the date that those direct appeals are finished to file a habeas corpus petition challenging anything about the Constitution.
Habeas corpus means bring the body forth. It's just to make sure that we don't throw people in prison and forget them without charge.
Constitutionality of this conviction and sentence. All right.
All right, Judge. Where are you going? Come back. Oh, come on, Judge. Oh, come on. I mean, she's like, I'm out of here, y'all. I'm gone. I am not coming back. Bye. Although I think there's still, oh, crap, I just remembered. They do have other co-defendants that haven't been tried. Oh, no. God, there's like, I think 12 more or something like that. 16. Oh, man. Oh, she's still got to be stuck for this crap because they ain't going to freaking, now they're just going to try it even harder because they want to get those convictions they lost on the other ones. Damn. Fat Fanny Patterson ain't going to dump no charges on nobody. She's not going to do it. No, that lady's a power monger. I mean, she's just typical powermonger that's in control, that is dictatorial. Because she's got a constitutional office, she can do what the hell she wants to. This is the only way to check her. This is it. And unfortunately, the morons in Fulton County reelected her dumbass. Damn. They should have elected her Weight Watchers. Damn. You watch, she gonna make those others go to trial. She ain't gonna let them go. We got more to come. Whether it's televised, I don't know. It'll be probably low level guys. I guess it's the mafia would call it, street thugs or whatever. Guys on the street. Nope. Here we go. Wait.
Okay, and just don't show the Zoom box, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, so there's Telfair. Great. So we'll go ahead and admit him back in. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, so it may be that new offers will be forthcoming to all of the defendants. I mean, these are still very serious charges. I know that some of you all are.
What?
Yeah. Is Miss Weaver? Well, she's.
What?
We have to start over because we're not taking it easy. I can't see around all of my various computers to see that she wasn't down there.
She's
She did
trying
tell
to
me
get
she was
them to
running
make
out there, so
offers
that's
commensurate
my bad.
with what just happened. Yeah. This is the carrot and stick the judge can use. Hey, you might want to reconsider your offers because you got smoked. And I expect that's what she's going to say.
All right, so the Rule 22.
Yeah.
Was filed mere minutes ago, which is why I didn't have any notice of it.
Oh my God.
Something that was sent
What?
last week.
Okay. Well, what I am looking at. Actually says that they would like to record proceedings that commence tomorrow. So and that's from Atlanta News First. That's the only one that has forwarded to me is requesting
Excuse me.
something starting tomorrow, which obviously would not cover today.
No.
And it was forwarded to our public information office at 10:16. So there
Sorry,
does
guys.
not appear to have been any kind of Rule 22 even filed at the time this proceeding started at 9:30.
Oh, well. That's
Regardless,
life.
you can tape under the circumstances that you and I already discussed. Just make sure not to show the defendants because they're not dressed out in civilian garb, if you will. All right, thank you. All right, we now have our court reporter. And
Are they going to go to the next set now?
So before we were officially on the record with the court reporter, I had let everybody know about the verdict that had been returned in the trial that was ongoing until a few minutes ago in Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell's case.
No, I can't hear
And
nothing on my
it may
left
be
ear. It's
that
just
new
hissing.
offers will be forthcoming to some or all of you.
It's like
It may
frying
not
an
be. I don't
egg.
know. That is not for me to decide. That is for the state to decide. And the charges against
Wait,
some of
what?
you are very serious.
God, they're
Some of
bringing
you
new
are
ones
charged
out.
with murder.
Oh
Some
my
of you are
God,
charged
you're
with,
joking. Oh my God. No. They're already. Oh my God, there is another set. I knew I was right. Oh my God, I knew I was right. This is a dumpster fire. Damn, that woman ain't never going to let these people go. If you think this is bad, what is she going to do with Trump? I mean, he's going to be the president. What's he going to have to do? Have her hit by the Justice Department for civil rights violations? I don't know. This woman ain't going to stop. She just got her boots smoked, and she still wants to prosecute. Oh, my God. So 170, day 170. Go ahead and bank on another 100 days. Brooke might run it a little bit quicker, though. This judge, Glanville's a moron. I don't care what anyone says. He was a fucking moron. No way. No freaking way. I mean, it was one-sided. And at least she's trying to clean everything up and keep it neat and tidy and get on with it. But I can't believe it. Yeah, there's another set of defendants. Oh, my God. This isn't happening. Let's see what it says.
It was forwarded to our public information office at 10:16. So there does not appear to have been any kind of Rule 22 even filed at the time this proceeding started at 9:30. regardless, you can tape under the circumstances that you and I already discussed. Just make sure not to show the defendants because they're not dressed out in civilian garb, if you will. All right, thank you. All right, we now have our court reporter. And so before we were officially on the record with the court reporter, I had let everybody know about the verdict that had been returned in the trial that was ongoing until a few minutes ago in Mr. Kendrick and Mr. Stillwell's case. And it may be that new offers will be forthcoming to some or all of you. It may not be. I don't know. That is not for me to decide. That is for the state to decide. And the charges against some of you are very serious. Some of you are charged with murders. Some of you are charged with other very serious felonies.
Oh my God.
Some of you are just charged.
The shit show is not over.
Those are serious as well.
It is not over.
I don't know what if the state is going to regroup and take a new tack.
I
have no idea.
She's trying to tell them you need to give good
and
offers.
I'm just wondering if it might be a good idea to set maybe a new date for a final plea again. I know y'all had a final plea once.
She's hoping this is the judge's way.
It wasn't the judge that was going to preside over the trials.
This is the judge's way to get a settlement. Say, hey, well, why don't we push this off? Let's have another status conference, maybe or another plea date. Let's give another 30 days. And while she says that, she's thinking in the back of her head, and y'all make up some good damn offers so that they can take it and we can kill this case, because I don't want to try another damn case. You idiots have messed up my life for 100 and something days. That's exactly what I would be thinking, and I know that's what she's thinking. So that's usually when the judge does it. It's almost always a secret tale, if you will, that a judge will have when they want the case to settle. When they want it settled and they want it done, no bullshit, don't come back to it. I want to go home. That's what they'll do. They'll set it off again, and maybe y'all should, get together and figure out a plea, or if you're going to go forward. They've been in jail 2.5 years. It's not like they don't know what they're going to do. They're ready to go to trial. But given that they just got their boots smoked, she's trying to give it more time so that they get offers. My guess is, if they're smart, they'll cut deals for like 10 years. With time served on some charges, gang charges or something. Maybe even the murder charge. I don't know. They may do a 20 on that with, like a 20 split 5 or something. Serve 5, 15 on probation. That's a lot. That's really low for a murder, but it's possible. It's possible. They may want that charge to stick so that they can go around and say, I got him for murder. Murder who? So that's usually how these, oh God, she's how these prosecutors are. I can't believe there's more that they have to do. Damn. Because the judge can't sit there and say, get a settlement. She can't do that. She can damn near come to it, but she can't do it. So what she's done is about as good as you're going to get. If they don't get offers, and my guess is they're going to want offers of 5 years or less with time served. All of them. And Fat Fanny Fatterson G Money ain't never going to do that. I mean, even the offers ahead. Hell, I think Williams had to enter an open plea, if I'm not mistaken. That's the one thing you never do, because it is all up to the judge. Whatever the hell, it's the sentencing range. That's the court can give. So open pleas I have never had any good experience with it. Not that they're back. In Alabama, I never had a good experience with it. In the other states that I've practiced, I've had some come back where the judge gave lighter sentences than they offer because of an open plea. But I don't like them. They scare the shit out of me, because you don't know. The judge may hit you if it's a 10-year potential prison sentence, and my guys served 3. They should be going home on probation. Technically, though, he could serve 8 out of the 10. Do I really want to mess with it? Or do we want to take their offer and have him serve the rest of the time and get home? Or, what if it's the state's offer is a 10-year serve? You got to do 80% of it or something. I'm coming up with just scenarios. Don't take them for as concrete. Let's say let's say that you're supposed to serve 5. We'll say it's a 10-year sentence, supposed to serve 5. They've been in for 2 years. Do you take the offer, or do you go with the open plea to where the court can go, yeah, I know it's a 10-year, but I'm going to give them the 10, but I'm only going to make them serve 2, and then it'll be time served. The rest on probation. You could get that. Judge could come back and go, the state I know wants 8 years out of 2 on probation. I'm only giving 5, and then the rest is probated. That means they get served 2.5 more years, and that's how it works. So I wouldn't do an open plea. They scare the hell out of me. But if I remember correct, Jeffrey Williams' plea was open, which should tell you, just based on what she's done now with the probation on the felony possession of a firearm. I mean, she gave probation. I mean, she's ready to go. She's done with this. So the other lawyers are going to know, and they're probably, this would be the one time if that Fannie Patterson G Money does not give offers that are commensurate with what just happened. They may do an open plea. It's very possible. It's possible. I mean, this may be the one time that I actually say, yeah, let's do an open plea. It's possible.
I'm happy to do that, but I kind of am going to need to know sort of how each of these cases is going to progress, if there are going to be charges dropped or null prost, if the state is going to move forward with everything.
All right. Null prost. I know you all have heard that a lot. I never hear anybody talk about it. It's nolle prosequi. They'll, in American vernacular, they'll just say null prost. And it means no prosecute. No prosecute. So it's what the state does with a charge. If they don't want to prosecute, they'll say, Judge, we're going to null pros it. And she'll grant it. It doesn't mean they can't be brought up. But 9 times out of 10, they don't, because of double jeopardy issues. But they can't. They could. They just don't. If maybe the guy walked out of the jail or the courthouse after getting null pros and punched a cop in the face or something, then yeah, they might bring the charge back. But for all intents and purposes, null pros, it's done. You may not get an expungement on it, but you might. Just depends on the state law. Some states require a complete, acquittal to get it, or charges just to be dropped, not null pros, but charges dismissed. So it just depends on your state.
And if there isn't resolution, then we are going to need to sort out a trial calendar, the time needed to try the case, whether there are any outstanding motions that need to be handled prior to a trial.
He's talking about a scheduling
If it's going to be a
order.
trial, any motions in limine, and at some point get proposed jury questionnaires and things like that. It may be that
all this up
it's
front,
a little
unlike Glanville.
early, given the latest developments for the state, to be able to have any answers for that. I see that Mr. Thotty has been abandoned at council table and is sitting there all by himself, having been dragged into the case fairly late in the game, much like me.
Damn. Oh, God.
But Mr. Abadi,
She's
do you
over
know
it. She's
the answer
done.
to any of the questions on how the state might intend to proceed?
I think some of your assumptions are probably correct.
I can't believe they left them. She's like, get them the hell out of there. They suck.
Make sure that we're all on the same page. If there are going to be any new offers, I would get those.
Yeah, he's gonna.
All right, so let's look at a calendar. Yes, sure.
We were very close to a resolution today.
See?
That was essentially a time served offer.
I knew it.
For 18 months. We could ask for a slight modification to that offer. I would really like, if possible, because I would want to legislative session too.
Sure.
It's the holidays, and he is this close to a time served offer. I would like some consideration to perhaps get his offer done today. If the state feels like
That's, yeah.
Adrian
Yeah, she'll do it. She'll do it.
Here, but I've been texting with her. We're very close to it.
Okay, and that's fine with me, and I'm here
Yeah.
all day, and I'm willing to entertain anybody's offers.
That's hilarious. She just wants to get rid of them. Like, we're done.
My communication with Ms. Miller, I don't know if we're right there as it relates to the updated offer.
Okay.
But I think if your honor is available this week, at another time, there's a court appearance that we can do.
She's like, oh, come on, just freaking get it done, dude.
It sounds like the time is not the issue, it's the specific charges.
Okay, so, and I would assume all of the attorneys know what the pleas were for Mr. Nichols, Mr. Huey, and Mr. Ryan.
Here's another
well.
hint she's given him.
I
She doesn't have to
can
say
certainly
it.
be available tomorrow. If you will recall our discussions at the bench, I'm not sure about my availability.
That is, remember what I told you at the bench, or I'm gonna kick you square in the nuts. Bam. kick the squad in the nuts. That's exactly what she's reminding him of. Or you're not going to like what I do. Because judges do that on the sidebars. They'll say things that they know they can't say in public. They just can't to the attorneys. And it's essentially get the shit done. I'm not telling you have to take it, which in reality, I mean, when a judge says that, it's you got to do it. But the judge will say, I'm not telling you to take it, but you damn well better get it taken care of, period. And that's what you come back after that, man. The judge is going to be pissed if you don't get that shit settled. He's going to kick both of them in the nuts.
After that.
Wow.
But yeah, certainly.
Can't believe they're going forward to
on
the
that.
others.
And like I said, I'll be here all day tomorrow. And on and off, I have a couple of other things on my calendar tomorrow, but should be here for most of the day tomorrow as well. Does anybody else have an offer outstanding, or is everybody wanting to sort of wait on what might be coming forth new? Everybody wants to wait, but I would too. Okay. Is it premature to discuss length of trial if there is going to be a trial for any of these defendants?
She's
And if it
really
is,
not
that's
one-
fine. We can reconvene.
I mean, I think it would, my estimation would be no more than 90 days. That would be my estimation.
I think that is a reasonable estimate. All right. So why don't we look at the calendar
Oh,
and pick
man.
a date before the
geez.
holidays?
No
Would
more
that be
than 90
reasonable,
days.
Mr. Abadi, to think about? a final
Somehow
date
I have
for
a
the
feeling
holidays?
he's going to be the
Okay.
one doing the next one.
Is everybody going to be around like December 18th, which is a little over 2 weeks from now?
Yeah. Of
Would that be a
course
good
it
day
would
for
be.
everybody? People are kind of nodding yeses. Okay.
Just
All right,
tell
why don't we
them,
set-
Judge, we'll be back.
Calendar on the 18th. I don't know if that.
All right. We could do the 17th. How about the 17th instead? That's 2
Let's
weeks from
do
today.
it quicker.
All right. Why don't we set
Let's get it
a
done.
final plea calendar for all of the defendants in this case for December 17th? And we can maybe know some more by then. And even for the people who aren't going to enter any type of a resolution at that point, we can talk a little more
I can't
intelligently
wait.
about what it's going to look like to move forward. But
Man,
to the
this
extent that there
never
is going to be a
happens.
trial for anybody, I mean, I'm thinking sooner rather than
Okay,
later.
Mom.
The fact
You know, had they busted these up and cut them up into chunks originally of maybe 1 and 2 defendants, you know, that actually were in a conspiracy, etc., or even singularly, they'd have probably gotten convictions, pretty good ones. It damn well would have got them on the gang charge. That they probably would have gotten. But no, they had to do a RICO. They lost everyone in 170 days. A jury was, I mean, that's why when they started asking about the videos, I knew that at that point it was hinging on whether or not they thought he did something, Stillwell. And you never put, I don't think he's in any of the videos. It's just the car that supposedly he was in. So the state never proved their case. I agree with the jury. Did he probably do it? Probably. They probably all did. But that's not how it works. You have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. Not all doubt in the world, but beyond a reasonable one. Meaning, this is where we always screw up. The reasonable doubt is if you're sitting there and you listen to all the evidence and go, yeah, but you know, they made a good point that he's, you know, there's another, let's say that there was another suspect matched my client's description, everything down to the shoes he wore that night. And no one ever during the trial got him excluded or corroborated that this guy couldn't have been there. You know, it was your client. And as the defense attorney in closing, you bring that up, say, hey, you remember there's this guy that really did it. He's still out there. They never proved that it was him or that my client. They haven't done enough. And if as a jury, you go, you know, I've seen the photo of him. Yeah, it's reasonable. That's a reasonable doubt. That right there is a reasonable doubt. You don't have to go, well, it's reasonable, but it's unlikely. I mean, come on, they would have gotten the right guy, wouldn't they? No, that's a reasonable doubt. You stop. You don't go past go. Don't get $200. You stop. And that's not even a good example. But people, juries especially, it's like they think that these doubts because they'll ask you, or you'll ask them after trial when we poll the jury. And sometimes the jury will talk to you. You can ask them and they'll say, you know, well, you know, I did a guilty verdict, but I really thought that it was possible that X, Y, or Z could have explained it. And you shouldn't have voted guilty. You should have said not guilty, because that's a reasonable doubt. People don't know what a damn thing means anymore, which is why jury trials they're scary. Sometimes I even prefer bench trials. If I know the judge, I may go with a bench trial, because I know that the judge knows what the roadway looks like for the conviction.
And the evidence, some of the charges against these defendants are different than some of the charges that were in the case as it existed with the last 6, but a lot of them are the same. And I think that state should be pretty ready to go. So I'm envisioning, like, by February, we'd be
I'm betting you're
trying
gonna get
the next
15 to
case
20
extent
year
that we're going to be trying
offers.
any cases.
Yes, Your Honor. Eric Johnson for Mr.
Yes, sir.
The question that I would have, Your Honor.
Do me a favor and talk into the mic, because we do have people on Zoom and it's
The-
easier for them to hear.
Yes,
Thanks.
Your Honor.
You can pick it up if you want. You're kind of tall. I don't think you want to hunch over like
Eric
that.
Johnson for Mr. Evinger. The question that I had, Your Honor, is given the timing and scheduling that we're talking about, how long would it take for the transcript of the prior trial to be prepared? Because I know that there were certain witnesses that testified in the prior trial whose testimony may be used again in additional trials.
So it would, yeah, and that it's a good point. It would probably, to the extent anybody knows which witnesses, that would be helpful, so that the court reporter or court reporters can focus on that testimony instead of just starting from day one and going all the way through. Because I think if we do day one all the way through, it's going to be a while. And the court reporters would probably like a holiday as well. So be thinking about, if you all are thinking I'm going to trial, be thinking about which of the witnesses' testimony you would like, and then we can have the court reporters focus on those.
And I guess my question, because it's likely Mr. Evinger will be proceeding to trial, notwithstanding whatever happens resulting from this verdict, is the court going to take into consideration the time that the court reporter will need to prepare that?
He's looking
in
at a murder
scheduling
charge.
Well, I'll have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I will inform her as to which specific witnesses, the testimony that I need.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other kind of procedural matters?
Yeah,
Does anybody have
court-
motions
Court
outstanding? You
reporter's
shouldn't,
got to
you've
go
already
back
been to a
and
final plea,
download
but
the data and transcribe it.
get it filed. And I don't know if anything, I mean, I'll have to look, and I'm sure the state might have a response, but yeah, we can go ahead and take care of that, whether it's substantively or on some sort of a other basis. We'll handle that. But please get it filed like before the end of this week.
Previously filed immunity motion that would need to be heard at some point in time.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why nobody else has heard that
Oh
already.
my God.
It was filed.
Did you all have a final plea date without that having been heard?
It was never called for a hearing. It was filed quite a while ago before his case was severed on the initial trial. So that would need to be heard at some point. That may be
Severed
expired.
meaning
Okay,
they were
how-
all originally supposed to be in this other trial. And for whatever reason, the court struck it and severed them off to be tried separately. So I just got the paperclip on her finger. That's what I do. Oh, that's funny. I thought she had long nails. That was just paperclip.
It may not be. How quickly could the state and the defense be ready to have that heard? Because that may be something we can hear before the holidays. Maybe.
I guess I don't know.
I.e., please get it done.
I mean, I assume he's charged with shooting 2 police officers, right?
Oh,
correct,
yeah,
Your
that's
Honor. And that
Epinger.
is the circumstance under which
Yeah.
the testimony from the prior trial will be.
Right.
He isn't going to get a deal.
The witness and
No.
the immunity.
So you'd like that even by the time of the immunity motion
Deal.
or the immunity hearing.
I just need the immunity hearing skill.
Not when he shot and almost killed a cop.
Right, that's what I'm
That's the
saying,
one
is
that
you'd
they
like the
showed the
transcript, or at
video
least a
of.
rough of the transcript of, well,
Nah.
you need an official transcript to
Nah.
impeach them of
I'll
whichever
be
witnesses
shocked
those
if they
are. So
make
you
an
can go ahead
offer
and
on
get
him
me
that's
and the
worth
court reporters a list of those
taking.
witnesses by the end of the day today.
Yes, right.
I mean, he's on freaking
So that they can
video.
be focused on that. And then I will find out from them
And someone
their
else
time estimate,
testified to it.
and we'll set the immunity hearing at a time after.
We still got to
those
prove the
transcripts
case,
are
but
available.
that one's
Thank you,
easy.
The immunity motion is related.
So
They're
it would
not
be
gonna make
related
an
to
offer on
the shooting of the 2 officers. So,
Yeah.
Say, be ready tomorrow.
okay.
He's
Well,
not- yeah.
We can't have the transcripts ready tomorrow, but I hear you. So we'll be waiting on the transcripts.
He'll be
and as soon as those
lucky
are
to get a
available, we'll set them.
25-year sentence to serve. He'll be lucky to get that. First degree assault on a police officer, I think it's life.
So I don't want to get into substance now, but if the state has not filed a written response and would like to, go ahead and get that in by the end of the week. All right, anybody else with outstanding motions?
Your Honor, not an
That's it.
outstanding motion.
I'm
Thank
done.
you. Attorney Terrell Dark for Mr. McMullen. I was just appointed and filed entry on this case August 5th.
I'd
so I
love
don't
to
have
see
any
these
discovery or
people.
Anything. I'll be concerned trying to be ready by February to try this.
Oh,
case.
you can get ready by February. You're a defense attorney.
I hear you, Your Honor. I'm just letting you know.
This is going to be a 90-day trial this time, not a 2-year trial.
I hear you.
And I am sure that Mr. Abadi will provide you with all of the discovery. It's in
Oh, I'm so
about a
sorry.
million Dropbox links, but I bet he'll consolidate it
Yeah.
into one for you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, she's giving them all.
And frankly, whomever the prior
Instruction.
attorney was on the case really should already have discovery.
He's
It's
basically
their
telling them, oh,
responsibility
you
to
will
provide
get
that
your
to you.
shit
Do you know who the
together
prior
and get it
attorney
all on
was?
Dropbox.
Your Honor, I have no
And
idea
just
who
give
that may
it
have
to
been.
him.
I mean, I don't either offhand, but that might be a route to go as well. But
I.e.,
Mr. Body will
hint,
get it
hint.
to you. What else?
Your Honor, I have a request on behalf of Mr. Mender.
Yes, ma'am.
Nicole Fagan on behalf of Mr. Mender. If we are going to have
I
another final
hate-
plea on the 17th,
Hate Zoom court. Brady Bunch court sucked so bad. It still serves a purpose. I hate to admit it. It does when you're long distance away, if you're in another state or a few hours or whatever. But if I were a judge, no, I don't want to have this. This is bullshit. The Zoom court sucks. Zoom can suck it forever. Oh my God. I did 12 plus hours almost 3 times a week during COVID on just stupid traffic court. Freaking dumbass traffic violation. Just stupid. Yeah, they can keep Zoom court. They can suck it. They suck.
if we could request that the state have all offers, whatever's on the table by the 14th so that we can communicate so it doesn't happen in the rush of the moment.
Sure. Yeah, I guess we're not in my regular courtroom and this is not my regular team of people, but my rule is that the state needs to have the final offers communicated to the defense at least 2 business days in advance of the final plea. The 14th is actually a Saturday. So let's say by close of business, the 13th, 5 p.m. on the 13th, all offers need to be communicated. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
All right. Who is Melissa Reynolds in the waiting room? Anybody know?
I don't know.
It
Show
could
her.
be somebody with I guess, one of the prisons. So let me go ahead and admit them and see.
See, they didn't want to have to somebody's already serving prison sentence, GDoc. So they
Yes.
didn't want to have
Is that Mr.
transferring,
Evans?
which
Okay. All right.
Zoom works
Well,
good for.
I'm
It's
sorry
all
that
right.
you missed most of the status conference, but you can update him. And are you able?
Sucks.
I think that all of the prisons have the ability to let y'all Zoom privately
Yeah,
with attorney
they
and
do.
client. Okay, and I can even leave y'all if you'd like in a breakout room after this is over with, so you can.
Oh
catch
God, the breakout
him up. I
room.
think we can do
Oh
that.
God,
Miss
no.
my
I hate it.
staff attorney is saying no, we can't.
Oh,
Why can we
I'm
not?
so tired of hearing that. God, it triggers my PTSD, man. Oh my goodness, it triggers PTSD. You know, horrible. Ugh. I'll put you on a breakout room so you can talk for 2 hours. And a guy went, oh,
Just when we're finished, you would just need to join the Zoom on your phone,
Just
and
to
you can
pay
step
it
into that
and
little
wants to go to
conference room right there so
trial.
that you can talk privately, and y'all will be in a
Hate
breakout room, so only the 2 of you will be able to hear what's going on. Okay, so Mr. Adams, your attorney's going to catch you up with what you missed. We've basically just been talking about scheduling. We haven't discussed anything substantive. All right, so
Sure
I think
he's
that's
not
it,
happy.
and we will see everybody back
Last
here.
thing, one more thing, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
no problem.
Your Honor, upon Mr. Mender's severance, we didn't receive any new discoveries. So I'm not sure if any new discoveries outstanding, and I can't speak for any other attorney on the case, but everyone here has been severed. So I don't know if everyone has everything.
All right,
Wow.
why don't I ask Mr.
That's not
Body,
good.
can you just gather up all the discovery and maybe, in order to make sure that everybody has everything, just reserve on everybody? All right, I appreciate that. All right, anything else? All right, thank y'all for your time, and we will reconvene on December 17th. I'll
Can't
see everybody back then.
believe it.
Thank you.
That is it. It is done. Well, the other guy shouldn't have taken a plea. Jeffrey Williams is probably cussing his damn lawyer's ass right now, even though he shouldn't. Mr. Steele probably told him it's a gamble. Don't know, but I don't think they can get you on a conviction. So looks like that, these guys are right, and they should have all went to trial, and they all would have gotten probably similar charges. Maybe Williams might not have even gotten a conviction. Possible. Kendrick didn't. I mean, they really never presented evidence that Williams was head of a crime organization or some corrupt organization, and that's a requirement. You got to prove there's an organization and it's corrupt and there's racketeering involved. I don't think they ever really proved it that he was. Other than everybody worshiped the ground he walked on because he was a rap star. That's it. But I don't know. That's how it works. This is how it works. This is the gamble you take. And look, these guys look really good right now because they got, one got an acquittal. Doug Weinstein he looks like the best lawyer out of all of them. But that's not true. They didn't have any choice but to go forward. They were looking at so much time that it was ridiculous. And, you know, they're both looking at life. So what do you got to lose? You know, but, you know, I'm sure Jeffrey Williams is cursing, taking the, I'm sure he's just pissed that he took a plea because now he's a felon. And he might have gotten off. He might have also gotten an acquittal. My bet is that he would have. I was shocked that they didn't go forward. I was shocked all of them didn't. You know, that looks like the only guy they're going to get is what's his name? Was it Muntunk? I don't even know how to say it. Muntunk or whatever that guy's name is. That they revoked his probation. That dude got hosed. He got screwed. He's the one that's going to serve 20 plus years in jail. I mean, God, man. So everybody else gets off. That fool has to freaking go to prison because he didn't cooperate in testifying. Probation isn't meant to be long term, and the states are bypassing parole for probation when parole is the correct way to do it. It should be a 20-year sentence and parole eligibility after 5, and then every year or every so many years you go back before the parole board. Do you make it? Now they've gotten rid of that. They just want to put you, get them out, jail's too full, get them out, and we'll put them on probation. Alabama's is so bad that they've got the statute says probation can only be for 5 years or less. It's a statute. But then they have the Split Sentence Act, which you can get a 20 split 3, which means to serve 3 years in the Alabama Department of Corrections and have 17 on probation on paper. That's not what it was meant for. It was never designed for that. You know, probation is what you do instead of jail. And unfortunately, the system is just, they're overloaded. They're like, you know, maggots on a corpse in the prisons. They ain't got no room. And they're obsessed with it. But that's how that Muntunk got hosed. You know, they took his and made him serve it. So it is what it is. We'll cover the rest when they come back for the next set. All right, guys. All right. Thanks, y'all. Hit like and subscribe and leave me a bad comment or good one. I don't care, as long as you leave something. All right. Thanks. See y'all.